Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of This Just In Radio. I'm your host, Justin Barnes. Today, we're broadcasting live from ViVE25 in Nashville. Very excited to be here. The prominence of this specific show grows every year, and I feel very fortunate to be able to broadcast annually from this event. Rich Scarfo and the entire ViVE, Chime, and Health team have been extremely supportive, and I'm tremendously grateful. Also, a special note of thanks to Dan Kendall and the Health Podcast Network for his support in managing the demands of my ViVE broadcast and all of the recordings. Also, Roberta Mullen, the entire team at Healthcare Now Radio. I'm certainly grateful for all of you. This is my 11th year broadcasting from a healthcare industry conference, and these teams help make every show and every broadcast better. That's how we won the Sway Health 2024 Healthcare Podcast of the Year award. For today, though, I have a fantastic lineup of CEOs, CIOs, care providers, policy leaders, and visionaries. As many of you know, my goal for broadcasting live each year from these key conferences is to create an information medium that shares best practices, strategies, and actionable intelligence from the industry's leading sources and experts. My goal, along with all my guests here, will be to offer tactics and strategies to not only survive, but to thrive as you navigate your hospital, your practice, your company, your family, all through these changes occurring in healthcare today. There's more opportunity than ever before for all of us to thrive, but we must understand how healthcare is evolving, how policy and reimbursement is shifting, and where best practice and innovation can support our efforts. I hope you glean all of that over the next few days. That's at least my goal. Thank you very much, everybody, and stay tuned. Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from ViVE 2025 in Nashville. Very excited to introduce my next guest and great friend of the show, Aneesh Chopra, author, innovator, former U.S. CTO, and CSO with Arcadia, and also an all-around great guy. Welcome back to the show, my good friend.
How about a friend of Justin Barnes? How's that? Can I have that?
I love it. So I assume this has been an amazing couple days here for you in Nashville?
It has been. Catching up with old friends, but also the energy.
Yeah.
We're seeing some energy in the market, which is exciting.
Yep, I totally agree. So what progress? Let's start off with something positive. What progress are you most excited about seeing in the industry today?
The biggest progress is we're going from an era of wishing for data liquidity to an era of, oh my goodness, we've got a bit of an abundance here. How do we make the best use of the data? So it's exciting to see us cross over from wishing we could open up the pipes to encouraging use cases now. And with the advent of AI, the ocean of opportunity just seems like limitless.
That's actually very well put. So I guess in your new role as Chief Strategy Officer of Arcadia, because Care Journey you sold to Arcadia.
Yes.
Tell us about that. We'll have a couple minutes about that.
Well, first and foremost, it was a marriage of friends.
Yeah.
So Care Journey has been in the ACO enablement space
Absolutely.
because of the fact that we have access to the national CMS claims.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to do benchmarking services to over 150 health organizations, many health systems, but also, I should say ACO networks, but also a few health systems and plans. Arcadia was serving a lot of the same folks. And so we were almost like two sides of the coin. So our shared customer was like, hey, you guys do great work. Maybe you could do more work together. Mm-hmm. And as we thought about opportunities to grow, it made so much more sense to run faster as one organization than to have our partnership efforts go faster. Yep. So that's all come true. We announced today 2 new products coming out from the Arcadia Care Journey merger. And we're excited to see where this is going to take us.
Congratulations. Are you still in Virginia, your office?
Oh, yeah. You can't leave the nation's capital. Despite what's happening with Doge, it's still the center of the universe.
There you go. So following the theme of the show, best practices, trends, all the good stuff, what trends or healthcare strategies are you seeing out in the industry today that we should be looking to navigate?
Yeah, I would say 3 things are on my mind. One is the great decoupling. Okay. What that means is in the past, data access from payer data to providers, as one example, was often coupled with a risk contract. You had to take risk in order to access longitudinal records. Absolutely. Okay. In today's world, with TEFCA and the interoperability networks across EHRs and regulations like the Provider Access API by CMS, it is now possible for one to get the same data aggregation opportunities without taking financial risk. So if you wanted to just deliver better care, you can now provide that foundation. And that effectively means that data and analytics to make healthcare better at every step of a patient's care journey can be possible with or without a risk contract. That's one trend.
Awesome. Yeah.
The second trend is I think there's an era of consumerism coming where, as you may or may not have seen, if you Face ID yourself with like Clear or ID.me, it's called the NIST IAL2, you can authorize any app of your choice to aggregate your records. This puts the consumer at the center of their data. This is the dream of Blue Button 15 years
absolutely,
later. And so it's about Face ID. It's like, TSA PreCheck. And so we are just on the cusp of applications. If you saw at JP Morgan, Tempus, the cancer, company, they launched Olivia AI, or whatever they call her, Olivia, whatever it is. If you authorize, you kind of do your Face ID, you get into Epic, you can pull all your records into this Olivia AI, and you chat GPT your way with your records. So it's the beginning of an example of a movement where not only can independent apps, but also health system and health plan apps can incorporate these features. So it's going to be an extraordinary, it's going to be a realization of the dream of a consumer-driven system. And then the third aspect is obviously with the election, we have to expect that price transparency and therefore quality and price will be a much bigger part of our equation. And there are a lot of economists and policy skeptics like, how will this affect the overall system? I'm actually more bullish than bearish about what we can do to drive not just direct-to-consumer price transparency, but more directly that AI app that they trust to be their shopper on their behalf. And it'll result in people getting better care at lower cost.
I love that. Yeah, I think we first met when you're starting the Blue Button Initiative while you're at the White House.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very cool to see where it is right now. That's amazing. So how would people navigate? So what are a few thoughts on best practice or strategies to navigate some of those trends? Like how do you even engage that? Where would you engage in that technology for the average innovator out there, health IT company, or even consumer?
Well, it's my life, I feel like I have three different conversations. One is to take one part of the healthcare ecosystem that I work with to sort of inspire them, if possible, to look beyond their narrow role, to say, can they be part of this journey? So it's like, can you activate an ACO network to be the consumer designated app? That's like one exciting channel of conversation. The second one is to activate, that's like inside out, right? That's like go from where you currently have a longitudinal record and go further. The other is outside in. Who are the startups that are like, hey, I have no assets in healthcare. I'm going to come in fresh with a set of new decision support tools. And that's another exciting round. And then the third is the policy makers and the feedback loop about reimagining all the rules and regulations that we have, which are very paternalistic right now. We're going to regulate plans to do X, to do right by the consumer, regulate providers to do right by the consumer, but not really focus directly on consumers, on how we can inspire them and support them in every step of their journey. So every audience I speak with is seeing a bit of a bigger picture. And, early adopters are what's going to be 2025. It's not going to be at scale.
Right.
But I think you're going to get case studies, which will build confidence going into 26.
So, going off script a little bit from the standpoint of, I'd love your take on, I love the work that Steve Posnack has done and in the office there for a couple of decades now.
Absolutely.
And obviously we're all praying that they and helping, hopefully they stay on and all that. I would love some of your thoughts and opinions, not, unbiased, but obviously knowing the hard work that they put into what we have, the framework that we have to build on is strong. You've done a phenomenal job in that backbone. Talk a little bit about that.
I would highly recommend the audience to look up Mickey Tripathi's final blog post on the ASTP site. He titled it Passing the Baton. So just Google Mickey Tripathi, Passing the Baton. He does a remarkable job looking back in a bipartisan way from the David Brailer era all the way through. By the way, he maps it to the Gartner hype cycle, which is really both humorous and accurate, frankly. And so we went through all of that, trough of disillusionment, we're coming out of it. So the great news is he lays out quite nicely why all of what we've done in the past has put us in a position to succeed going forward.
Amen.
And then he highlights the specific things that he's excited about. This notion of TEFCA for operations beyond payment, the need to get more other parts of government to see the benefits of riding the same chassis, and frankly, to move the entire industry towards a common open model for what is today a highly complicated, often proprietary mix and match of data access and use. So I think the incoming administration is going to embrace the passing of the baton. They will basically grab that baton and move. There may be some restructuring. There may be some Doge-like efficiencies. Let's not fret those activities.
Good.
Let's embrace those activities and know that the long arc of awesome is on its way forward.
Great guidance, great thoughts there. Love that, Aneesh, because we need that desperately. I've been so focused on this and then hymns. I need to read Mickey's.
It'll make you feel much better about where we are.
Good. So thinking beyond today, what do you see as a key strategy or trend that we be getting ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now? I know healthcare is complex, a lot of moving parts, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, the elephant in the room will be the Trump tax cut bill.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be one beautiful bill or multiple bills. I have no political commentary, but the reason I say that is it either says nothing or something significant about healthcare.
Right.
And so it's almost impossible to make a comment about the future without acknowledging there's this big decision in front of us.
Right.
And realistically, if you were going to rein in healthcare inflation, there are really not that many options. You're either going to do the massive Balanced Budget Act of whatever, 94, where you cut rates.
Yep.
So that's like, okay, slash rates. I don't think that's really in the coffers.
Right.
You're going to slash benefits. I don't know if that's really, these things are like, no.
Yeah.
So the only way to go is to reduce the waste. Like this is Doge style, right? Now, some people hear that and they get scared.
Right.
Oh my God, Doge is laying people off, whatever. Think of it as an opportunity to unshackle ourselves from the history. Yeah. Are there old regulations that are getting in the way that we could remove? Are there opportunities for us to be running faster towards high value, high quality care? The thing, Justin, that we have to remember, if every American got the absolute best care at every step of their journey, it would actually cost less.
That's right.
So if we know the destination,
we
can work towards it in a very collaborative way. Democrats, Republicans, holding hands, making the world better.
Amen. I love that. Well said, my friend. So in the closing minute here that we have, what are you looking forward to seeing in the next day or so? And first of all, when do you leave town?
I leave town later today. It's been a great 48 hours here at, first of all, Nashville's a great city. Let's be honest.
Phenomenal city.
I'm so happy to be in Nashville, although it's freezing. That part sucks. That was weird.
It's cold.
Unexpectedly. Look, what you want to see in this audience is excitement and a willingness to change and a willingness to embrace new product development attitudes and not worry about, are we on offense or defense, Justin?
Yep. Exactly.
We have to be on offense.
At all times.
I think there's a little bit of that transition there is an anxiety here around defense.
Right.
Look, if you're in a health system, you're facing a worry about 340B cuts, site of service issues, basically a lot of potential headwinds. So I can understand a defensive posture. Right. I also see the same for health plans, V28, all these audits. So there's a lot of stress in the system. But if you can lift your head a little bit above it and say, no, I want to get beyond this moment and realize these are bumps on a road we can make our way through. It's probably 70-30 defense in the room versus offense. I want to inspire folks to get that down to 50-50, 40-60. Yeah. But we're going to work our way through it. My panel today is on the future of Medicare. So we'll see in that room how pessimistic or optimistic people are.
That's fantastic. No, when I open the show, we talk about the opportunity to not only survive but thrive. So kind of what you said. Don't just sit on the defense, but go on the offense.
Get on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have, to balance what you just said, or at least build on what you just said there about the administration and the opportunity, we absolutely have an opportunity to kind of reset here with healthcare, do the right thing, and move our industry forward, community forward, patients forward, success forward. So yeah,
absolutely. And as we're at the age, Justin, where we have our parents, they're getting in, so we want to see this benefit for our own parents, and we can make it happen,
and ourselves and our children too. We have put the framework. All right, my friend, thank you so much
for having me.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks at HIMSS.
Indeed.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. You're awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome back to this Just In Radio show, broadcasting live from ViVE 2025 in Nashville. I'm very excited about my next guest and very good friend of the show, Rich Scarfo, President of Health. Welcome back to the show, my good friend.
Thank you for having me again.
Always fantastic. I assume it's been a great few days for you?
It has been an amazing few days.
Tornadic.
There you go. Weather aside, we have had an amazing couple of days here in Nashville. We're glad to be back. It's a great city to host an event.
It is.
And it's a wonderful hub of innovation and a really great place to advance the whole healthcare dialogue.
Could not agree more. This city does a great job hosting us. We do have some bad weather moving in, but everybody's taking it somewhat in stride. But again, you guys do a great job with ViVE. Chime is a great partner there with health. And this city does a phenomenal job of hosting us, making us feel welcome, and obviously the phenomenal innovation inside the Music City Center, but also inside the city. So
that's right.
Fantastic. Tell us about attendance coming into the show on Sunday and Monday. So
Attendance has been great. This is our fourth year. We started in 2022, Miami. Fourth year. So this year we hit about 8,000 attendees. Awesome. From last year. We have about 600 companies joining us on the floor. The cool thing about the attendance this year is 30% of our attendees are C-suite.
Yeah.
And it's the whole point of ViVE, and that is to bring together decision makers, senior executives, and the people that are able to move things forward. We had a surge in provider systems attending this year.
Absolutely.
So there are over 700 different systems represented. We have our Provider and Payer Connect program that's grown about 25% in size. So we hosted over 5,000 meetings in 2 days between sponsors and provider systems. And it's really a cornerstone piece of the event. The whole goal here with the event is to advance dialogue and have networking you can't get elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Bring people together that don't see each other at other events, and I think we kind of hit the mark on all of it.
Yeah.
We also had about 350 speakers this year across different size stages, and I think the topics were just really spot on for where we are.
Yeah,
right now.
I'll pick that up too from a standpoint of just all my guests have brought up. And even my last guest was Halamko, who brought up, the quality of conversation here, the quality of partnership being evolved here is unparalleled. And it's just, so kudos to you and the whole team. You guys do a phenomenal job. And again, and actually, Rasu, we talked about this too. It's not even the quantity. It's always about the quality.
It's what we keep saying. So, a lot of people ask, how big do you want ViVE to get?
Yeah.
It's not really what our focus is.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this in the past, and that is, of course, we want more people, we want more companies, but we want the right people and the right companies. And as our attendance goes up, if the percentage of C-suite, the percentage of decision makers is not increasing with that, then we feel that we're failing. Right. There are a lot of events out there, and they all have a different purpose, and a lot of good events. What we look at is to make sure that we can be different, and we give all of the people that show up here an experience that they can't get elsewhere, and conversations that can actually make a difference.
Yeah. So, I guess, and this was not part of our initial discussion, but let's contrast health and ViVE, because, I go to both. They're both essential in my life. Yeah. But, tell me, so if someone could not only go to one, but what's the difference, I guess, between them?
They're very different.
Yes.
And we've spent a lot of time and energy making sure they stay different.
Yeah. Good.
The audience, the overlap's only about 25%.
Okay.
Companies, about the same. So if I were to bring ViVE into a very quick description, it is a decision maker and marketplace event for the health, IT, and digital health industry. Okay. And it is, the marketplace side is very important to us, but we also couple that with the discussions and the key leaders that we bring here, and the, again, the decision makers. I would say health is a broader event. It touches all parts of the healthcare ecosystem, whereas, ViVE is about what's here and now in the business of healthcare and how systems are transforming. Health is really about where health and healthcare are going through the best use of technology. And, the innovation thread through that event is very strong. We have about 2,000 startups attending that event, about 350 on the floor. So it just gives a whole different feel to the event. And I would say that, we get into a lot more of what affects the individual through these technologies versus the hospital system at health. A lot of behavioral mental health. We'll have, of course we'll have AI and things like that, but we'll also have oral health. We'll have skin health. We are launching, our pharma community is growing significantly there, and that's something that we don't really target here at this event. We're bringing in a lot of different things that this year for health, like our food lab at health. So it's all about, the individual's experience in the healthcare system. Here, it's a little bit different, more focused on the provider side of it. And of course, the patient's at the center of all of it.
Right.
But it's just two different angles to get into the same.
Phenomenal answer. Excellent. Thank you. So what's new this year at ViVE?
Well, I think we can start with the political climate. How about that?
There you go.
It has informed a lot of the decisions. or discussion, sorry. A lot of the sessions have been sort of tweaked a bit. We've unfortunately seen a lot of companies and associations and others attending that have had to remove language and different approaches that are essential to what they do. So that's been unfortunate. I think what we try to focus on is, what does the discussion look like around this? We try to stay in the center. It's important because we're a platform for everyone. So we want to make sure that we're able to bring those discussions here, and I think we've seen a lot of that. The other things that are new in terms of the event itself, our AI pavilion is probably the biggest thing on the floor that we launched this year. That's been phenomenal. We've coupled that with our interoperability area, so both have grown. I would say that and our provider and payer connect area were consistently standing room only the entire event. The other thing that was new is our focus on value-based care. So that's been threaded through some of the sessions, and then we also did that on Sunday as a deep dive program, and that will be something that we get into a lot more. We were really pleased to have the Best in Class Awards move to ViVE for the first time. So we've been talking with them for a while, actually since the first year, and so the awards happened yesterday, and we're really happy about that. And you mentioned Chime earlier, so the great partner, they're our partner on the event, and there's a really important demographic that they serve, and that's the CIO.
Yes.
We've seen a surge in CIOs, and we worked very closely with them to launch our ambassador program. And that really was helping CIOs get people and leaders from their systems to ViVE. And that was one of the reasons that we think we've seen a surge in representation from hospital systems. And we do it in a way that makes it very possible for them to be here, because a lot of them are obviously going through the same thing everybody else is, budget cuts, travel restrictions, things like that. So we were pleased to see the numbers that we ended up with.
Absolutely. No, and congratulations on class. That's a coup.
Yep.
I was actually surprised because I work very closely with a bunch of leaders in the industry, but AWS is one of them, and they won Best in Class for Public Cloud. And they mentioned that the announcement were moved into February, and I'm like, that can't be. It's always in March. It's always at him. Like, I don't know, and that's why you guys got it.
It's good to shake things up every once in a while.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
We welcome everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, fantastic. And actually, I had Adam Gill was at our dinner last night.
Yeah, good guy.
Fantastic. Yeah, great organization. What are you most excited about with what you're accomplishing here?
I think we've seen a bit of a shift this year, right? So as you're building something, and again, I mentioned this is only our fourth event. So
right.
I think in chatting with the team before we got here, and
I don't think people realize that, because they synonymize you with health, and so, but technically ViVE is its own thing, and ViVE is 4 years old.
ViVE's still our baby.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's been amazing this year is we feel like it's found its place. The conversations were solid. The partnership discussions were happening. The provider systems looking at us as a go-to event. I mentioned the level of C-suite here. That's really a hard thing to do, to build and attract. A lot of competition out there, and we're advocates for everybody having their own thing that they offer. We just want to do ours the best that we can. The thing that I would say for me that was most eye-opening and really exciting this year is the presence of community health centers. And it's something that, we've had a partnership with NAC, National Association of Community Health Centers, for a couple of years now. And it's been, it's been great, side events and a lot of interest in it. But this year we had 60 different centers represented. And I learned a lot about the community health centers, in that it's the largest healthcare provider in the country. And they touch 1 in 10 citizens in the U.S. And for us to be able to provide a platform for that, and to see them thrive here in the discussions that were happening, and especially right now with question marks around funding and what's happening throughout the country, they make it possible for kids to get vaccinated, for people to get screened, for important access points for behavioral health, and all of those things are really important, because what they're serving is people that have the least access and the least amount of resources. So I love seeing things like that, because as I opened the event with some comments on Monday, and one of the things that we always remind people, or hope they remember, is that the care in healthcare is the most important part. and I think right now people need that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said, my friend. In the closing minute, what are you coming up health events that are, we obviously have health in the fall, but what's coming up? You have Amsterdam coming up?
So we have Health Europe in Amsterdam.
Yep.
It'll be our second event.
Put you on the spot. What are the dates? Yeah, sorry.
June 16 through 19. And then we go to Vegas, and that will be, I think, our 8th year. October 19 through 22. And then we are returning to Los Angeles for one more year in February of 26, and that'll be the 22nd through the 25th. And we're actually really excited about that because there's a lot more we're going to lean into in terms of California and the innovation and the healthcare community that's there. That I think the first time we were there, again, relatively new events. We didn't lean heavily into that. That'll be a big focus this year.
Yep. Excellent. So ViVE next year will be in LA in February.
LA in February.
Fantastic. It's a good time to be in LA.
A little bit later, so we'll get away from Valentine's Day.
Yep. Very cool. Rich Scarfo, President of Health, thank you so much for being here, my friend, as always.
Thank you, Justin.
I want to say thank you so much to all the staff here on site at ViVE 2025 here in Nashville. Certainly Dan Kendall, the whole team at Health Podcast Network, and Roberta Mullen from Healthcare Now Radio. Everybody's been so fantastic in helping me and supporting me over the last 11 years. And certainly many thanks to AMD, AWS, and all the show partners here for all of their support. And to Rich Scarfo and the entire health team, and obviously ViVE and Chime teams that allow us this opportunity to broadcast every year from their different events. Big thank you to all of them. And certainly a big thank you to all my listeners and supporters. My show broadcasts weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. As always, you can find me on LinkedIn and track me on Twitter, HIT Advisor, and use the hashtag ThisJustinRadio so I can respond to your comments from the show. If you missed any of this episode or anyone want to hear all my broadcasts, they're posted at Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spreaker, and anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.